my reliable and patient Taurus friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Taurus, this week you may sense an undercurrent within you that is hard to name yet impossible to ignore. It's as if you're standing between comfort and anticipation, aware of the familiar ground beneath your feet but quietly restless for something beyond it. There's a subtle tension that's less about dissatisfaction and more about an emerging curiosity. You feel the pull of your routines, the solidity of what you've built, but also a stirring, a sense that you're meant to look a little further, reach a little wider. You might notice in quieter moments an urge to breathe more deeply, to stretch beyond your usual boundaries, even if just in thought. This isn't a loud craving or a reckless impulse. It's a gentle but persistent awareness that your world is ready to expand, even as you hold close what's precious to you. The tension lies not in choosing between old and new, but in finding your place in the space where both meet. This feeling colors everything right now: conversations, passing glances, the way you approach your work or your home. You sense a quiet anticipation, as if you're waiting for a green light that only you can see. The world around you might seem unchanged, but inside there's movement. Your emotions hover between gratitude for what is and hope for what could be. Even moments of calm seem edged with possibility. You don't need to name this sensation. It's enough to let it be, present, real, quietly insistent. You find yourself in this inner landscape when the 3 of Wands appears. There's a clear sense of surveying what you've accomplished and leaning gently toward horizons not yet reached. You recognize the value of your efforts so far, and you allow yourself to rest in that knowledge, but you're also aware that something in you wants to move forward. It isn't about impatience, it's about readiness. You feel the subtle difference between being content and being finished. There's no urgency, but there's an undeniable sense that you're being called to look beyond your current borders. Perhaps you notice yourself imagining new projects, or maybe your mind drifts toward places you haven't visited, people you haven't met, or skills you haven't honed. These aren't grand ambitions shouting for your attention. They are more like quiet invitations, a gentle curiosity about what's possible if you trust yourself to take a step or two outside your comfort zone. You might catch yourself quietly reflecting on what you want your days to feel like or how you want your time to be spent. There's an awareness that your past efforts, your persistence, have put you in a position to consider what comes next without fear or regret. This is a moment of standing, not running, looking, not leaping. Yet, in the act of looking ahead, you begin to sense your own capacity for growth. You realize you can honor your roots while allowing new shoots to grow. There's no conflict between appreciating what you have and exploring what you might become. You hold both with equal care. In this space you may feel a quiet pride, a recognition that you've built a solid foundation but are not bound by it. The emotional posture is one of readiness, not restlessness. You're open to the future, steady in the present, and quietly letting yourself imagine a wider world. As this inner readiness stirs, it naturally gives rise to the path ahead. The energy you've been feeling, subtle but persistent, begins to shape your choices. You start to notice opportunities where you once saw only routines. Small shifts in perspective ripple outward, inviting you to respond differently to the pressures and possibilities that arise. This is not a sudden leap, but a gradual unfolding. The space between wanting and acting grows smaller, and you realize that your inner state is already setting the course for the week ahead. As the week unfolds, the King of Cups steps forward on your path. This is where the emotional landscape shifts from a quiet simmer to a gentle tide. Situations may arise that test your emotional steadiness, perhaps a conversation that doesn't go as planned, or a decision that feels weightier than expected. The pressures you encounter don't necessarily come from outside forces. Sometimes they emerge from within as you weigh your desires against your responsibilities. The friction is not about conflict, but about balance. You may feel the urge to react quickly, to assert your feelings or opinions, but something in you knows that real progress comes from meeting each moment with calm and clarity. There's a mature steadiness to the way you navigate this week's events. When emotions run high, you sense the difference between reacting and responding. You might notice a surge of feeling, a flash of irritation, a wave of enthusiasm, a pang of doubt, but rather than being swept away, you acknowledge these feelings, letting them move through you without dictating your actions. This is the quiet strength of the King of Cups, the ability to hold space for your own emotions without letting them spill over into the choices you make. At the same time, you may feel a growing sense of responsibility, toward yourself, toward others, or simply toward the life you're building. There's an awareness that your actions carry weight. The way you respond to challenges, the way you offer support or set boundaries, shapes the emotional climate for everyone around you. This can feel like pressure, but it's also a sign of your growing capacity to lead with empathy. The momentum of the week isn't about rushing forward, it's about moving with intention. Even when things feel uncertain, you trust your ability to stay grounded in what matters most. This path is not without its friction. Old habits may tug at you, tempting you to retreat into familiar reactions. But each time you pause, each time you breathe before responding, you strengthen your ability to choose rather than react. The week asks you to find your own rhythm, to let your emotions inform you without overwhelming you. In this space, your path becomes clearer, even when the destination is still unfolding. The journey from inner readiness to outward action is not automatic. It's shaped by your willingness to engage consciously with what arises. The potential of this week, and of this moment, depends on how you meet yourself in the midst of these choices. If you approach your experiences with awareness, if you recognize the difference between acting from habit and acting from intention, then new possibilities begin to reveal themselves. The invitation is not to control every outcome, but to show up fully, to bring your whole self into the present moment. In doing so, you create the conditions for real growth. Here, the card the Emperor emerges, not as a figure of authority to be obeyed, but as a symbol of what becomes possible when you inhabit your own life with presence and purpose. This isn't about imposing order or forcing results. It's about quietly realizing the power you have to shape your world, moment by moment. The Emperor's energy is not rigid or cold, it's grounded, confident, and clear. You find yourself standing a little taller, trusting your instincts and recognizing that your choices, however small, carry real significance. Growth looks like stability born from engagement, not from withdrawal. You begin to sense that you don't need to have all the answers to move forward. Instead, you give yourself permission to take up space, to claim your own authority in your daily life. This doesn't mean dominating others or insisting on your own way. It means respecting your needs, honoring your limits, and allowing your values to guide your actions. The invitation here is to inhabit your own life more fully, to trust that you have what it takes to navigate whatever comes your way. As you do, you may notice a shift in how others respond to you. Your steadiness becomes a quiet beacon. You don't seek control, but you do offer structure, first to yourself, then to those around you. The weeks ahead may bring challenges, but you meet them with a calm assurance that is rooted in self-respect. The Emperor's invitation is not to conquer, but to embody. In doing so, you discover a deeper sense of peace, a confidence that is neither loud nor fragile. Looking back across the week, you see how each card, 3 of Wands, King of Cups, the Emperor, reflects a different aspect of your journey. You begin with curiosity and readiness, feeling the gentle pull of new possibilities. As events unfold, you meet pressures and emotions with calm and intention, letting your inner steadiness shape your choices. Gradually, you step into a deeper sense of your own authority, not by pushing or forcing, but by inhabiting your values and trusting your path. These energies are not separate. They flow into one another, each supporting the next. Your willingness to look beyond the familiar opens new doors. Your capacity to hold space for your emotions allows you to walk your path with grace. And your quiet confidence, your willingness to be present and engaged, creates the foundation for lasting growth. There is no need for drama or grand declarations. The real transformation happens in small moments, in the way you greet the day, in the choices you make when no one is watching, in the gentle trust you build with yourself. By the end of the week, you may find that the tension you felt has softened. The space between where you are and where you want to be feels less daunting. You recognize that you are both the architect and the caretaker of your own life. Whatever comes, you have the steadiness to meet it. The horizon is wide, but your roots are strong. There is comfort in that, and there is hope. Actionable insights for Taurus this week. You might gently lean into a conversation you've been avoiding and notice how it feels to be fully present in it. You could try setting aside a quiet moment just for yourself, letting your thoughts settle and your breath slow. You might experiment with honoring one small boundary, even if it's just for today. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am steady, even when things shift. My feelings have a place, but they don't rule me. Each choice I make shapes my own rhythm. I trust my roots and my reach. I am quietly sure of who I am. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.